Welcome to the online tutorial of Hypermesh. Today we will discuss about new things that Hypermesh also provides some tutorials in the its demo file. When we open it, go to the directory of Hypermesh, that is C program file Altair 13.0 and demos. Here are some tutorials of its software. For example, I want to get a tutorial for Hypermesh. I will open the HM folder, that is Hypermesh, and there are a few tutorials. For example, let us open a tutorial, say solidmesh.hm. When we open it, we got following created materials and components like that. I think it may be the tutorial for making a solid mesh, since it has no surface and line body. So we have to create a solid mesh using these lines only. Now let's try to make a solid mesh. I am first creating a surface by going to a surface panel and using the spline filler in about this section. Now I will mesh this and rotate it to make the 3D element. First I have to create the 2D elements. I am taking a mesh size of say 5. It is quite smaller. We have to take a size of 1. By adjusting the density I can enhance the mesh. I am taking this type of mesh. Now I have to rotate it. For measuring the angle, in how much degree I have to rotate, I am using the arc node option for creating a center arc in the node panel, and another 2 nodes by extract on line for making 2 nodes in this line. Now we can measure the angle by going to the distance panel and selecting the 3 nodes 1, 2 and 3. It will show the angle value, which is nearly 30. So we have to revolve this mesh to the 30 degrees. I am going to the 3D page and selecting the option spin. I have to spin elements, so I am selecting the spin elements option and selecting all this element on this face, selecting entering a value of angle as 30. On spin I want nearly 10 elements, selecting the base point. Now after selecting the base node, I am selecting the N1, N2 and N3 option for determining its plane. N1, N2 and N3, since is in this plane it is going to be spin, and selecting the spin positive by selecting the elements on this face. Since we want to spin in negative direction, I am rejecting it and clicking on the spin negative. Now I can delete these 2D elements. Now going to the next face, I am making a surface in this face also using same option, which is spline filler, and creating a mesh. Since I want to make the mesh which also get coincide with upper nodes, thus I am making the same density as upper one, which is 4 and 10, like that. Now we can make the mesh by using solid map option. So I am going to the thus I want to make another surface. So this line also we can solid map by selecting the lines, but I am making the surface. Now I am going to the 3D page, selecting the solid map. It is requesting the source geometry surface, which is this elements to drag, which all this on the face. Destination geometry, I am selecting the surface, and along geometry I am selecting the lines, that all these lines along this line I want to make the 3D elements, and making the mesh. It is showing an error that source geometry face does not found, so I am selecting the none option and creating the mesh. It created the 3D elements like that. Now I have to make another 3D elements through this face. For making them I can use again the solid map option for making this face. Again I am making the surface. Now one thing should be noted, that if we use solid map around this section, the element get more smaller. To avoid this I am equalizing these nodes using the tool edges and selecting the elements like this, and making a tolerance value maybe 0.5 and previewing equivalence and selecting the equivalence like this. Now I am using the option for making these surfaces. One more option we can use is the line drag. We can make this surface and making mesh over this and drag up to this line. For making this I am making a surface using nodes. Like this. Now I am going to mesh this surface using similar options. I am trying to match the nodes. Since I can also use surface split options for matching the nodes like this. And mesh it again. Changing element densities can enhance the mesh. Now I am using the 3D page and a line drag option, selecting the drag element radio button and selecting all these elements, selecting the lines and entering the values 4, since there are 4 elements to connect with it. Now our mesh is completed. I can equalize the edges. Thank you for watching. That's all for today.